Hey guys, today we're doing quality checks.
What is that? A little beetle?
Look at this. It's actually squishy as I walk on it here. We're going to make sure our service meets the expectations of our customers, how the color of the lawn looks, and to make sure they don't have any weeds or the weeds are dying in their lawns. So stay with us today, see how we quality check these and make these lawns look great. There's the lawn right here. Wow, look how green that looks. Looks good. Pretty sure it's a new customer. They've had one application. Let's go take a look. Okay, so as we're walking up to this lawn, we're looking for a few things, right? We're looking at weed pressure, we're looking for conditions, tell the customer, hey, your lawn's looking thin or you have a fungus, things like that. As we see, we got some of these milkweeds in this bed and thistle in these beds. And a lot of times when you have things like these in the beds, they're gonna be moving their way into the lawn. So as you can see here in this lawn, these little ones popping up, and that's because there's an underground root system over there and they will slowly kind of work their way into the lawn. Every time we're here, we're gonna be spraying these. We just gotta be careful of those ones on the edge there. Overall though, yeah, I'm happy with the color. There could be a little something going on here. We'll look at the soil. The soil looks moist, so we're not worried there. But in this little brown spot here, we're just checking for anything out of the ordinary that we see. It is pulling up.
What is that? A little beetle?
The main insect we're looking for right now is chinch bug or European crane fly. A lot of times though, if you have like this could be like right here. I mean, this more looks like a fine fescue that's just kind of gone dormant. Fine fescue does not like the sun at all. Kind of pulls right up too, which tells me that, you know, it could be late stage in the life of this fescue here. But we are looking for any signs of insects. Maybe chewing on these roots. Oh, look at this right here. We have a little grub right here, baby grub. I wonder if they're already hatching. It's kind of early to hatch, but that right there looks like a the first instar. Very first instar of a grub. So this could indicate that grubs are gonna be hatching soon. Grubs feed on the soil roots, which in turn, when you kind of pull it up, this thing's gonna pull up like carpet, just like that. What do we do in this case? Well, we wanna see if this customer got a preventative. And secondly, if they did, there is possible a breakthrough, but if they didn't, we wanna do a curative then on that little guy because these guys feed on the soil. You apply that granular curative, water it in, these guys feed on that and they die. Wow, this guy's very active too. Look at that.
He was just born.
He's got to be just born, so that means we're going to start seeing damage very soon. See if I can find more. We should be finding more, but they were definitely here feeding. The thing's pulling up like they were eating it, but I don't see them. That's the weird thing. How can you find grub damage? Well, you want to look for areas of the lawn that kind of are starting to look dead. They're not looking green. It can be certain patches or it can be anywhere in the lawn, but a lot of times it's right on the edge because that's a lot of the time where there's breakthrough where the grubs start to feed. Oh shoot, look at this, wow. Oh, no. We pulled open this little piece right here. We see two right here. Look at that, these guys must have just been born. Let me see if I can get them out very carefully. They're super tiny. There's one right there. There's the other one right there, wow. Just born. Look how small that other one is. I mean, literally probably born recently. These guys are just starting to feed on those soil roots. That is not good. That means we're gonna see high pressure. If he is a new customer, he probably just got a preventative, but it may be too late. Oh, here's another one right here. Where is he at? He's right here. There he is. It's super tiny, just born. I've never seen him that small. That's like just born, yeah. So now, and likely, I think that this might have been already damaged or potentially from before, because like little ones aren't gonna be doing that much damage right now unless they're in like really big numbers. It's just like, wow. But now we gotta make sure this guy has it or make it a curative, but his lawn's really wet. And this thing's pulling up, it's weak. It shouldn't be pulling up that easy. But then every dead spot I check, I'm finding one. See this little spot right here? Super tiny right now. Wow. It's hard to tell it's even a grub, but it is. You can see the mouthpieces in the red face. See, this side feels better. See, this isn't pulling up. That's what you want. It's not really pulling up if I'm trying to pull it up. So that's a tall tale sign of grubs. When it's pulling up like carpet, it's grubs. So as we continue walking through this yard, we're looking right here in this corner, and you can kind of tell that this grass right here does not blend in at all, growing way higher than the regular grass here, right? And this is usually what's known as like a coarse fescue, or we call it a wide-bladed fescue. There's nothing you can really do about this. The only thing we can do is, if you want to get rid of this, is use a non-selective like a Roundup or a glyphosate product. Kill this little area off here and reseed to get this out of the lawn, because it looks pretty ugly, it stands out, it's always going to grow taller than your regular grass. Here's another patch of that fescue right here. You can just see it gets super thick. It grows a lot faster than your other grass, and it stays greener too. Yeah, definitely an eyesore. Some people don't care, some people want to get rid of it. All depends on the person. Over here, so this could be an irrigation issue maybe, or potentially more grubs. So let's kind of just take a look here. We'll look at the soil first, try to pull this up. It's not really pulling up. So this is where we can kind of do a shovel test, and we can kind of pull a core out, compare it to a core in the lawn and see what's happening. Let's go grab a shovel. Yeah. All right, the point of this is we want to be checking depth and we want to be checking irrigation depth too. How far is it going, or is the core dry? We'll take a good core from an area that looks good. We'll take a core from right there. Okay, so as we pull out our good core right here, we can clearly see the soil looks really wet. That's what you want to see. You want to have deep and frequent watering, and you want it to be wet way down here. That way the soil roots are grabbing that irrigation, that nutrition as well. This is a great core. Let's compare it to the other one. As we pull this core out, a couple things we notice is, let's grab this other one here so we can get a quick comparison for you. So we pulled our good core right here. Great moisture content, it's dark. We pulled our dry spot, and look at this. You can clearly tell just by comparing these two. This one's a lot lighter, which means it's not as moist. And then also we have a little bit of sand here at the bottom, which means that water is gonna go faster through that sand than it is the soil. It's not getting as much irrigation. Maybe the irrigation is not hitting it, but a lot of times in these corners, in these really tight areas, they don't get as much as the rest of the lawn. And so I would say that this is definitely an irrigation issue. Everything else looks pretty good. As we go back here, we're just looking for weed presence. Are the weeds dying? What kind of conditions are back here? Looks like it stays really wet back here too. You can kind of tell right under this deck. Doesn't get a lot of sun. It's actually squishy. As I walk on it here, you can tell there's moss, which means that, again, there's probably very poor moisture through this entire area. Could be a downspout issue, could be a soil issue underneath. It also looks like it's over here as well. The one thing that could really help with this is an aeration. Aeration would kind of open this thing up, help maybe some of that water starts to kind of pour out of here and not pool up as much. Here's a really good shot too right here. See this right here? That's actually mycelium from any of the fungus. It could be mycelium from any of the funguses, dollar spot, red thread. But this mycelium right here is when it's damp, when it stays wet, that mycelium is what can cause the fungus and cause it to spread. If your lawn's not drying out, it's gonna be harboring fungus, harboring mycelium, any possibility of fungus growth. That's why you want it to dry out, so this mycelium isn't here. And an aeration can help with that, proper nutrition, proper drainage. We also see some nutsedge over here. Because this area is staying wet, that will give nutsedge, usually does like some damp, wet areas. And so that's why we got some of this coming in right here. Definitely could use an aeration, that's for sure. See, I don't see grubs right here. Just along the edges, yeah. So overall, as we come to a close on this lawn, you know, we look at the color of it, it looks very good. There's not a lot of weeds in this lawn that I see right off the bat after walking through it, so that's great. On the weed pressure, we see a couple things. We see a dry spot right there that we kind of diagnosed. We also saw this coarse fescue right here in the corner, and talked about how to get rid of that and what they can do for that. We found a few grubs right here along the edge. They're just babies, so they're just very, very early in their life cycle here. Their first instar. They're gonna really start doing damage here in the next month. And the last thing we noted is they could use an aeration. They have very poor drainage in the backyard. Thanks for joining us on this one. Until next time.